Asheville is a geographic community located in the heart of western North Carolina and the Blue Ridge Mountains. The city, with a population of almost 76,000 people, has a reputation for being a cultural and commercial hub of the Southeast and is known for its artsy vibe and leftist politics. Asheville has regularly appeared on national lists around the country as a top city for the arts, happiness and well-being, retirement, outdoor recreation opportunities, music, and a business-friendly climate. However, despite this multitude of accolades for its cultural and social diversity, Asheville is actually an economically and socially complex community. There is a portrait of the city that's much different from the one that is most often depicted in magazine and tourist books.
That's so funny. West Asheville used to be called Worst Asheville, from what I understand, like about 10 or 15 years ago. And now, that is becoming the trendy, artsy, boho place to be now. It's really funny. And Montford is really funny because Montford on one end is like big fancy bed and breakfast and big nice houses, that have been restored. And then you can go drive down into the other end and it's more poor, probably mixed families, black families, little houses and stuff. It's funny, just on the one end of the street to the other. And you'd see tons of hippies. Backpacks, heading in with their VW vans, and it was really cool. But I have noticed in the last 5 years or so, a definite switch.
Asheville has grown significantly over the past several years, resulting in an incredible increase in housing demands. For years, Bonnie has been in search of affordable housing in the city and has finally acquired a Section 8 voucher to help with rent.
I actually my son is 10. I got on the list when he was about 1.5. I ended up finding a little one-bedroom apartment that we've been in for about 6 years. Mm-hmm. And apparently when I moved, I was on their list. Like I said, since he was about 1.5. He was nearly 4 when we moved. Just a little while after we were in there, they had sent me a letter asking if I wanted to stay on the list, and I said yeah. But then I guess they said they had sent another letter, but my name had came up, but I didn't get it. So I had to start back over on the list.
In Asheville, 44.5% of renters cannot afford their rent payments, and 32.1% of homeowners cannot afford their mortgage payments. The biggest reasons for the lack of affordable housing are the direct effects of tourism on the local economy. In the tourist industry, jobs tend to be seasonal and do not provide a living wage. Second, there are a large number of second homes in and around the city that sit vacant for a large portion of the year, causing both economic and environmental strain on the economy. Third, building in the mountain terrain increases construction costs, which are then passed on to consumers. Unless the supply of affordable housing continues to grow at a comparable rate to the demand, the price of housing will continue to skyrocket, leading to greater and greater economic polarization within the city.
Just about everybody that did not currently accept Section 8, we're like, no. We don't expect apartments. Found a lot in my price range, nice apartments in apartment buildings or duplexes. As soon as you mention Section 8, no, we don't take Section 8. Sorry. It's really funny. I found that people would accept pets quicker than they would accept Section 8. Yeah, you really have to get out there and hustle. And these people, I was lucky when I mentioned it. I talked to him first for a while before I mentioned it, because other people I was just straight up asking right off the bat, do you accept Section 8? No. Because there's no need in wasting everybody's time. So I thought, let me change my strategy a little bit. So I talked to him first and about it and everything. And then I asked. And he said, well, I don't know, I might. I'm like, seriously?
By a collective of, I don't know, I think 15 to 20 people who represented somewhat of a cross-section of society, of this Asheville city. And they wrote the plan, and it had it said that there should be a lead agency that implements the plan, that there should be some way to document and evaluate the data so that we can understand what's happening, and that there should be housing and services available to people who need it. We know that there are vulnerable populations that are more at risk of having unstable housing. People with disabilities, people with mental illness, veterans, parents with young children, single parents with young children. It just, those circumstances can make the lack of income and lack of affordable housing even more challenging.
Notice at the orientation for the Housing Authority, I say the majority of the people there were black. And yeah, just looking around the room, there was maybe one couple, mostly black women, and of course the white people that were there were women. And there was one a guy. There was a one, well, maybe 2 or 3 white men. One, and he was handicapped.
Poverty there is a correlation between people of color and people in poverty, and that exists in homelessness as well. If agencies are being managed and run by people in the dominant culture, whether that be financially dominant or culturally or what is it called? Ethnically, yeah. Is there enough attention made to people who are asking for help? We work to try to get people who are homeless, like there's a formerly homeless person who sits on the advisory group, but it's still not perfect, because he comes there and he thinks, what are you guys talking about? But the Asheville Homeless Coalition works with the affordable housing group to provide insight and information and support as they try to make decisions about, what type of code we need to create or change to improve our access to housing and that type of thing. How are we going to find a local pot of money that can sort of fill in the gaps as funding streams change, whatever.
Just every trail
that's open. I'm sure they're there.
so